Alright, that's video of 6.1. Now we are going to solve equations that we're not used to solving. We're used to solving linear. We're able to do linear and quadratics. And sometimes cubics. Alright? Only special ones we're able to. Now we can solve any type of equation, no matter what type of variable we have. Alright, so there's three simple steps. First thing you need to isolate the power. In other words, isolate the variable with the power. Then you take the inverse root of the power, which I'll show you in this example, and then you solve. Alright? So the first one is we want to isolate the power. So we want to get this by itself. So therefore, I got to multiply both sides by 2. Alright, so I multiply both sides by 2. So now I get x to the 5th equals 512 times 2, which is 1024. Alright, now we take the inverse root of the power. In other words, we're going to multiply, or we're going to raise to each side 5. The inverse of 5 is 1/5. Alright, so I'm taking the power of 1/5 to both sides. Because see, when we have a power raised to power, so 5 times 1, 5, so we multiply, so 5 times 1/5 is just 1, so we're just left with x. Alright? And then solve, sometimes we mean evaluate. Sort of what we're doing. That's what we were doing in the last video. We're taking a problem like this and then simplifying it. Alright? So if the number is large, I'm going to show you how to use the calculator. Okay? So we want to do alright. So what I'm going to do is do 1024 caret key in parentheses, because it's a fraction. So I'm going to do 1 divided by 5 parentheses. Hit enter, and there's your answer is 4. Okay? Your answer is 4. Now, I have to be careful here, because a lot of people will just write one answer. There could be 0, 1, or 2 answers. So you got to look at the root. The root is 5. Alright? And we said if the root was 5, there's only one solution. So this is it. If this was even, then there'll be a positive and negative there. Okay? Okay, what I want you to do, pause the video, try number 18, and when you're done, hit play, and then check your answer with mine. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. Then raise each side to the inverse, which would be 1/3. So this cancels out, so we're just left with x equals 8 to the 1/3. In other words, what is the cube root of 8? Since this is odd, that means I'm going to have one answer. And since it's positive, it's going to be a positive. So the cube root of 8 is 2. You can use the calculator if you want. Okay, next one. Hit pause, try it, and then come back and check. Alright. This whole thing right here is in parentheses to this power. So that means step 1 is accomplished. We isolated the power. Alright? So everything on this side is to the 3rd power. So what I want to do is take the inverse. In other words, I'm going to both sides and raise the power. Okay, that cancels out. So you're left with x minus 2 equals. Alright, so we have put negative 14. I want the cube root of that. Alright, cube root. Alright, so my answer is going to be negative. It's odd, so it'll be one answer. So x minus 2 equals negative. Alright, now that does not come out evenly, and that is fine. So we can just go ahead and just leave it as that. So now add 2 to both sides. This will be 2 plus the cube root of negative 14, and there's your answer. Okay, and number 20, take 1/4 to both sides, so you get x plus 5. 16 to the 1/4 power. so that's the same thing as saying 16 to the 1/4, or the 4th root of 16. The power is even, so that means I have a plus and minus, and the 4th root of 16 is 2. So now subtract 5 from both sides, so I get negative 5 plus or minus 2. So therefore I do negative 5 plus 2, which is negative 3. And the other one is negative 5 minus 2, which is negative 7.